Hey, Tree Sprites. I personally believe that Soulaani Black Americans are at the precipice of an incredible turning point of a point of evolution in our community here in America. We are finally understanding that white narcissism and anti-Blackness has infected just about the whole world, and that most people are against us. And just as our leaders and our activists have been saying for decades, we are all we got. None of the labor or ingenuity or support that we have put into this nation has had any effect on our well-being as a people. In fact, the more we give to this nation, the more we give to the world, the more people take from us. Are we really that dedicated to serving our energy to those who don't care about our lives? Who would willingly and gleefully step on our bodies and the bodies of our children to get ahead? America still condones the trafficking of Black bodies, women, children, and men. Those who commit violent, heinous acts against us and steal our lives are very rarely held accountable in any sort of legal way. America taught the world that we are to be used and exploited, and the rest of the world went right along with it. Dishearteningly, even those in African and Caribbean nations, those that we have historically looked at as our brothers and sisters, our extended family. But obviously, many of them don't feel that same way about us. Every time the tremendous pressure that we have faced in this nation caused us to turn our energy toward ourselves, we have thrived. Unfortunately, the thriving of Soulaani people is not a part of the white narcissistic's imagination or fantasy of reality. So we have seen countless times in the past where they have come after us, massacred us, bombed us, drowned us, set us on fire, drug us out of our houses, mass incarcerated us, planted drugs in our community, attacked us in our sleep. White America has always seen the well-being and success of Soulaani people as a threat to their own lives, even though we have zero history of terrorizing them in the way that they have been terrorizing us for centuries. But regardless of the horrors that we have faced in the past, we are some of the most resilient people. We can survive anything. The world is trapped in a cognitive dissonant state of loving everything about us except for us ourselves. They love our culture, our music, our fashion, our ideas, our creativity, everything, our lingo. Oh my goodness, they're so into our lingo, even going so far as to use our own lingo to try to attack us, which is absurd. But now, with the information and insight of our past, of the experiences of our ancestors, we have a much, much better informed way to move forward. Of course, there will always be those of us who continue to run to our oppressors for approval, but a great, great many of us are finally hyped to the game. It's time for us to rebuild again. It's time for us to create again. And we can't bring fear with us. We've been here for centuries now. We know the inner thoughts of our neighbors. We know about the CIA. We know about the FBI. We know about all of these white narcissistic terrorist organizations who seek our destruction. This is the pressure that forms diamonds. And diamonds are just condensed carbon. And y'all keep talking about how we're 9 ether carbon beings, so spiritual, so connected. For those of us who are ready to put our energy into our own community, to empower ourselves, it's time to get to work. The idea that we lack the skills in order to sustain ourselves is a complete lie. It was our skills that sustained this nation, that built this nation, that made it as wealthy as it is. Even today, America's biggest export is our energy, either in athletics, in our music, in the fashion industry, in anything that was inspired by Black American energy and culture. They bottle it up, put it on shelves, and look back at us for their next product. This can be the ultimate era of us reclaiming our energy for ourselves, if we choose it. We keep crying for validation from outside of ourselves. We keep crying for a savior. We keep crying for Jesus to come save us, but we're not even putting it out into the universe that we want to be saved, that we desire our reality to look any different than what it is. There is somebody in our community that knows how to do everything. A young 21-year-old Black man just invented a machine that transforms plastic waste into usable fuel. When left to our own devices, unviolated, unmolested, we lock into the universe and we create endlessly. The policing and redlining of our communities is to ensure our stagnation, is to ensure that we do not evolve. But nothing can stop us if we don't want it to. Do we forget that our ancestors, living in enslavement, were learning to read and write in secret, were braiding seeds and maps into their hair, who ran despite the deadly potential consequences? We have always been free. We've just been caught up in somebody else's fantasy. It's time that we get caught up in our own. Subscribe to Black Barn Owl. Link in the bio. I'll see you in always.